Hey, what's up, Epic Lifers, and welcome to the Epic Life, the only life that is worth living. If you're not living an epic life, I don't know what you're doing, but anyway, you might want to join us, check out the trailer and see what the Epic Life is all about. But right now we're going through a series called the Epic Life Optimum series, and we're going through a series of the NEWSTART principles, which is the 8 laws of health. Now, we're going to be talking about something today. Now, this is a revolutionary breakthrough that has happened. There's this one substance, it's abundant, it's actually everywhere, and it's a cure for a lot of the diseases that we have today. All right, and most people just aren't getting enough of it. So you're like, okay, Mr. O, what are you talking about? I'm gonna tell you, okay? So there was this book that was written by a man whose name is very hard to pronounce, and I know I'm about to just butcher the living daylights out of it, but it's Dr. Batman. That's the part I can handle, okay? This is all one word. Sorry, brother, for messing up your name. I apologize in advance. Dr. Batmanghelidj, or something along those lines. I'm so sorry. He wrote a great book, and I'm just so sorry that I can't pronounce his name properly. The quality of his work deserves a better pronunciation of his name. He wrote a book called Your Body's Many Cries for Water, right? So in this book, he takes you through every organ of the body and talks about how the body benefits from having all the water that we need in it, and how it's affected when it's fully hydrated and how it's affected when it's like dehydrated. And so I think the subtitle of his book, which is really cool, is He's Not Sick, He's Thirsty. And there was another one he came up with, which was Don't Treat Thirst with Medication. Okay, because basically a lot of the functions that you're having in your organs when they're not functioning properly, literally water can solve a lot of that. And here's how he actually discovered that. He was actually a political prisoner who was working in a hospital, right? Now, he didn't have any resources in this hospital. It wasn't funded at all. So when people came to him with the problem, do you know what he did? He said, here, drink this, all right? It was water. He kept giving people just water to drink because people weren't drinking enough water. So he kept giving people water, and no matter what they had, it might have been constipation, it might have been a stomach ulcer, they started to get better. All right, because he was just making sure that they were getting enough hydration, which of course gets into the body. And so here's the thing, right? Here's why water is so important. We lose a lot of water throughout the day. In fact, you lose about 2 to 3 cups of water just while you're sleeping. Seriously. In fact, here's what water loss looks like in your body over a 24-hour period of time. And of course, this varies from person to person, all right? But this is kind of like a standard. So from your kidneys, you lose 1.5 liters of water every day. Through your skin, through you sweating basically, you lose about a half liter of water. Through your colon, all right, where your feces comes out, you lose about 0.3 of a liter of water every day out of your colon. And your lungs, okay, when you breathe out air, okay, there's actually vapor, water vapor in that air, and so you're losing water just by breathing as well. So in a day, you might lose about 2.5 liters of water. And for proper bone, skin, eye, brain, organ function, you need to drink 2 liters of water at least, all right? And the other 0.5 liters, you get that from your food and, you know, maybe a cup of juice or something like that. But what's good to know, your body from the neck down is about 75% water, and then from your neck up, it's 85% water. So you need a lot of this stuff to actually function properly. In fact, just yesterday, you needed to drink at least 2 glasses of water just to make enough hydrochloric acid for your stomach to use to break down your breakfast today. All right? So if you didn't drink that yesterday, then your body's gonna struggle to do the digestion, okay? And then you needed another 2 for your lunch, and then another 2 just for your dinner. And that's just to do with digestion. And your body needs it to make the hydrochloric acid, okay, which is basically a 2.5 pH, to break that food down. And what happens is if you're not getting enough of that water in, your body's ability to do that is significantly impaired. Now, some people actually drink a lot of water when they get told to drink water, and what happens is they're just going to the toilet a lot because the body's not actually absorbing the water properly into the cells, all right? So the way to actually make sure that happens is to make sure that you're getting enough magnesium in your diet, and that can actually be brought in by having dark leafy vegetables, okay, like spinach and kale. That has a lot of magnesium in it, and that helps you to actually get that water to be absorbed properly into the cells to be used wherever it is in the body. Because like water, sodium is just one of those essential elements for life. And so that's basically how the water gets into the cell, right? If it hasn't got sodium with it, it doesn't get in. And so when you're having water, the pancreas releases 4 types of enzymes to finalize the digestion after the hydrochloric acid in the stomach has actually dealt with it, because the digestion is still happening after it's left the stomach. And that breaks down things like the fat, the starch, the protein, which by the way are all made from water. And when your body can't actually break that down, then you actually end up being malnourished even though you're actually eating a good amount of food. So when your colon doesn't have enough water, you get constipated, all right? Sometimes just by drinking some water, it starts to make things shift around in there, man. All right, so if you're having a problem going to go, then just drink some water and it should help hopefully to shift it around. And what about your brain? Your brain is a hydroelectric system, all right? It needs water, and when it has no water, you basically have a very low level of electricity, and so therefore you have low brain function, and you're sleepy and you're tired, and your brain cells shrink, and then you end up having a headache. All right, and that's why you get headaches when you're dehydrated. The body's like, look man, I need some water, can we get some water in here please? And that's why you get the headache. So if the way to get rid of a headache is not to take an aspirin, drink some water, and you'll probably notice that in a few minutes it will go away. And water actually also helps your lungs to breathe out carbon dioxide. And so what that means is you can now take in more oxygen, because the carbon dioxide has come out your system and the oxygen can actually get into your red blood cells and you have more energy. Well, what's the best water to drink? There's a lot of debates about this, about, you know, acid water versus alkaline water. And some people are saying, okay, if you have water that's slightly acid, then you know it's gonna make your body acidic and then you're gonna die basically, you know. And then you've got another school of thought that's like, well, if you're having alkaline water, then you're gonna be in a situation where your body cannot digest the food because you're neutralizing the acid in your stomach if you're having too much alkaline water. So I'm not gonna get into that debate. What I will say is this: you need to be drinking pure water. All right, and what I mean by that is get rid of compounds like the fluoride and the chlorine. Now the thing is this: most chlorine, if you just sit water down right on a table, it will actually just evaporate out of the water after about half an hour. But things like fluoride need to be filtered, all right? So that's why it's good to have filtered water. I don't ever recommend drinking water straight out of the tap. I've got friends that do that, and I'm like, can you, like, I can't drink, I mean, I can just smell the chemicals in it. Like, I don't know if they can't, but for me, I'm like, I smell, I'm like, I'm not drinking that. No, siree, nope. All right. So, you know, alkaline water certainly can and does contribute to the alkaline balance in your body overall. All right. You're not gonna die if you're having, like, say, reverse osmosis water. You know, it's pure, clean water. It's filtered water. It's not gonna kill you. Plus, the truth is that when you have your leafy green vegetables, that's really how the body gets the alkalinity into it. The water that you drink really doesn't make a big difference, believe it or not. So don't worry if your water is slightly acidic. It's not the end of the world. But if you absolutely must have alkaline water, and it does help contribute to your body being alkaline, all right, drink the alkaline water. It's cool. Just make sure your water is pure and doesn't have all these horrible metal compounds in it that are just killing you, or any other harmful chemicals for that matter. Make sure the water is actually filtered, okay? You can do your own research into what type of waters to drink, right? I'm not going to be recommending this one or that one today. I'm just not getting into that debate. I ain't got the time for that, okay? Now, people also ask, you know, well, how much water should you drink? Well, there's many different schools of thought for this again, all right? So some people say for every 25 kilos of weight you have, you should drink a liter of water. So it kind of depends. It does depend on your body, all right? But generally speaking, if your urine is pretty much coming out the same color it's going in, then that means you're pretty well hydrated. If it's really yellow, then you're not really hydrated enough. So you might want to keep getting some water in. Now, there's also people that talk about, you know, well, isn't there such thing as drinking too much water? No. Okay, I know of people saying, you know, you can drown yourself and actually neutralize the salts in your body if you drink too much water. That doesn't happen, okay? There is a record of a girl who basically drank herself to death and she drowned, but that was because they were actually drinking water, drinking, okay? She drank 35 liters of waters, I believe it was. Waters. She drank 35 liters of water, okay? But the thing is, they weren't peeing out. They were trying to do a competition of who could drink the most water and not pee. And so she drank 35, didn't pee, and yeah, so it didn't end well, unfortunately. I think she died. So yeah, you don't want to do that. But as long as you're peeing it out, you can't really neutralize yourself. And if you're having a good balanced diet with, you know, a good amount of salt in it, all right, salt's not bad for you. We'll be talking about that in a later video. So you definitely want to stay tuned for that, because there's a lot of misconceptions about salt. People don't understand salt properly. So definitely you want to subscribe and make sure that you click the notification bell in order to make sure you'll be notified when that video comes out, because I'm not going to tell you when it's going to come out yet, because I don't know. So just stay on the notification list and then you'll know when it comes out, okay? So just some tips here on how to drink water. People are like, really, Mr. O, you're going to tell me how to drink water? Surely I'll just pick up a glass and do that, right? No, what I'm talking about is the timing, because the way that you time the drinking of water actually determines how effective it will be in your body, because you can drink water at the wrong time, and yeah, you start to kind of like mitigate your organ's ability to function at optimum for you to get the most benefit out of it. All right, and that will make sense as I go through it. So first of all, when you're drinking water, other than first thing in the morning, because you haven't drank a lot of water, the best way is to just drink water, you know, a sip here, a sip there, you know, drink a little bit here, drink a little bit there, all right? And I'll tell you the times to do this. But a lot of the time, what people are doing is they're just like guzzling, and then they don't have water for a long time. Guzzle, no water for a long time, right? And so what happens is you just pee it all out and it doesn't get a chance to absorb in the body and do what it needs to do. So what you want to do, I mean, first thing in the morning, I do drink like a half liter of water, okay? That's because I haven't had water all night. So it's okay to do it at that point, because your body's a little bit dehydrated anyway, because like I said, you lose quite a bit of water when you're actually asleep. So like I said, drink about a glass of water when you first wake up, okay? Or maybe 2 glasses if that's what you want to do. I tend to drink about a half liter of water. It wakes you up and it hydrates your organs, all right? So it kind of gets things going, right? It's kind of like turning on the engine in the car, and then the oil starts going around the car and it just kind of gets everything working, right? The other time to drink water, about 15 to 30 minutes before a meal. Now, why do you want to do this? You want to do this because it helps to actually prime the body to actually start digesting the food. If it's had some water in it, it can start getting those juices flowing. So when you start to eat, you're in a position where you've got the enzymes there ready to break that thing down. All right. And in actual fact, what it does is it helps your body to create the wall of mucus inside your stomach, because you have a thin layer of mucus inside your stomach lining, right? And the reason you want that there is because you've got hydrochloric acid in there, and hydrochloric acid can burn through a lot of things, and it can burn a hole in your stomach, all right? And that's why people have, you know, ulcers in their stomach and they have acid pain, all right? That's because their stomach doesn't have enough mucus in it, and you can actually create mucus by having enough water just before you eat a meal, all right? And then it's going to be there, and you're not going to have to worry about having, you know, stomach burn, because that's basically the acid. And a lot of people are taking all these things, I don't even know what you call them, because I've never needed them, all right? But you know, they take all this stuff like heartburn and stomach. I mean, it's like, dude, look up what you're doing, okay? You're just creating an imbalance in your body. When you spike a chemical reaction like that, it's like the body has to counteract that, and it just, yeah, just messes up all your rhythms. You don't want to do that. Just drink some water about 15 to 30 minutes before your meal, and you won't have those problems, okay? Very simple, and it doesn't have any side effects. The other time to drink water, all right, once you eat, you shouldn't be eating and drinking at the same time, okay? Because what you're doing now is you're diluting the hydrochloric acid in your stomach. So when you do that, then the food just kind of sits there because it can't break down because it's just been diluted, all right? So you're just sitting there not digesting food, yeah? So what you want to do is leave it for about an hour and a half to 2 hours after eating before you drink. And I know some people are like, what? I can't do that. Yes, you can. I used to eat while drinking. I don't do that anymore, okay? I mean, if you're really thirsty, maybe just have a little bit of water, just kind of swirl it around your mouth, just enough to go around your mouth if you really need it, but don't have a lot. But you really want to get yourself out of that habit so that your food will digest properly, and you'll notice a difference in your digestion, and you will not have as much gas and be farting all the time, pardon my vulgarity, all right? But you won't have that problem if you're drinking water at the right time. Unless, of course, you're eating a lot of beans, then in which case you're going to be you're going to be pooping all over the place. Nothing wrong with beans, by the way. I'm just saying, it kind of makes people a bit gassy sometimes. Right? The other time to drink water, all right, have a glass of water, is just half an hour before you take a bath or have a shower, because it actually helps to lower your blood pressure. All right, so for some of us who are a little bit more senior, you might want to have that glass of water before you get in the shower and have hot water on your body. Kind of helps you to keep things regulated. All right, and the other time to drink water, have a glass of water, is before bed. Now, this piece of advice here is a very good way to avoid a stroke or a heart attack. You'll notice a lot of the heart attacks that take place happen early in the morning because it's been such a long time before they had water. A lot of the time, because people are dehydrated before going to bed, your heart doesn't have enough fluid, okay? And so your body's not able to get every bit of hydration it needs to function properly. And so when you're drinking a bit of water, a glass of water before you go to bed, you're probably going to stop the likelihood of that happening very significantly. So definitely a little tip there if you're having some heart problems, okay? So that brings us to a close in terms of the water part of the NEWSTART principles. The next video is going to be either sunlight or air, whichever one I decide to release first. I don't know, but I'm going to be recording them today and it will be released next Tuesday, okay? I'm Mr. O. Remember, if you're going to live the epic life, and you are just one habit away. I'll see you next time. Next Tuesday, people, next Tuesday.